Hello, my name is Mandolin Royal, and today I'm here with cute little Muffin doing the chores. And we're gonna walk down here and see how many of the feed trial chicks are outside. I haven't snuck up on them yet. And what I'm doing today is I intentionally did not refill the feeders in Rooster Coop because those boys were being lazy and camping out, and they are of age to go and forage and put that flavor on. Because if you know anything about growing your own meat birds, it's the pasture that gives the flavor, and it's the feed that helps them get up to their market weights. So it's a little balancing act, and you want them to go range, and you also want them to eat quite a bit. But I'm gonna see what these birds are doing, because in Pellet Pen I refilled their feeders. They got another 14 pounds today, and that's gonna carry them over probably into late tomorrow or early the next morning. I'm looking for 10% left in their feeders before I refill, except for this one time in Rooster Coop, because I want to encourage them to get outside. First we have Pellet Pen. No one's outside. One's just camping out looking. But look at Rooster Coop. Look at all those boys who came outside to go find their breakfast, since I totally failed them this morning and didn't refill their feeder. Now I am going to go in there and refill everything, but I wanted them to go exploring. I want them to learn this, because it's very much learned behavior. You can't just pop them out and expect them to do the thing if you're full-time supplying feed. So now that they know they can find stuff outside, I'll go back to refilling every day. But now they know they can go get snacks, and they enjoy this a lot more. It's for their own good, really, as well as my little side benefit of what the birds are going to taste like. This is educational for them, and with their age, the oldest are 9 weeks and the youngest are 7 weeks. We do have a lot of wild birds, and it's all open air. This is where those boys are going to learn how to be hawk savvy. They're going to learn how to dodge for cover. They're going to learn everything they need to know about being a chicken. And that's the cool thing about dual purpose. You get your meat, you get your eggs, and you also get a really good chicken out of it. Now, just hearing my voice, a couple of the pullets came out because they recognize me as Flock, since I check in with them pretty regularly. And that's pretty cute. So now that these guys are all out ranging, I'm going to go ahead and grab a bag of the finishing feed. I'll go ahead and show a picture of the finishing feed that Jeff came up with. And I'm not going to stray off from it, and I'm not going to add extra corn, and I'm not going to soak it in milk. I want to see what we get by following, as close as I can, what he has told me to do for this feed trial that Kraut Creek has been sponsoring. And I appreciate absolutely everything I have learned in this process, and I'm adding my own little tweaks to it because I have been at this for a little while. And we'll see what we get once those boys over there come up to market age. After I fill up the feeders, I'll show you how many birds are left outside. And we're at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So they've had all morning to figure out how to satisfy their own hunger when I failed to refill that feeder. And I'm only doing it once because that's all it takes for them to learn something. So here's the feed tag for the finishing feed I'm using for this batch of birds. We have protein at 17%, lysine, an important amino acid, at 1.05%, methionine, also an important amino acid for growth, the 0.45%, and then so on and so forth with the fat, fiber, calcium, phosphorus, and salt. And here's our very beautiful ingredient list. No fillers, no substitutions, no cheapening of the feed. Now this is a formula that was developed specifically for the American Bresse and how they grow and what we want from them. Fertrell is who is supplying the minerals for this feed, and Jeff Maddox of Fertrell is who came up with this formula. And Kraut Creek up in Greenville, Ohio, that's who is making it for us. It's a convenient hour and 45 minutes away from me. But I'll tell you what, those results I'm seeing and the difference in fleshing, it's going to help me a lot as a breeder sort and select my way through these birds to get down to who the best ones actually are. And that's going to do a whole heck of a lot to improve our genetics. So I'm going to go ahead and take a bag of this over there to the boys. I'll let them know I refilled the feeders, and I'll show you how many birds are left outside after I do that. Alright, I refilled the feeder and did some other chores, and this is how many boys are left outside in Rooster Coop. None of them are doing a gosh dang thing. We have 2 outside and about 4 camped out by the door after filling their bellies up. So watch your feeding, watch your intentions, figure out what they need to have and when they need to have it, but make sure they're also going out and doing their little chicken thing. There's a lot for them to eat in that area from bugs, since we don't spray for anything here, as you can tell by our weed selection. But also we have full bug diversity, and bugs are hatching now that we're in May, and they have a lot of protein availability in addition to their forage. Just thought I'd show another little thing I do to help my birds become better birds. Even the ones on the feed trial where I was given very specific instructions. I'm adding my own little flair to it. So more on this later. Feel free to like and subscribe because dinner time is going to come up quick. We've got another several weeks to go before we start picking off our 14-week-old obvious culls to see where they're at with the fat development and the fleshing, and then we'll do a couple more staggered processing days to get through them all, and then we're going to eat a lot of chicken, and that's the best part, because I grew these myself. Half of them are my genetics that I hatched myself and bred myself. The other half are from Chase up at Recreational Homestead. I'm going to try not to be too harsh on his birds because he does have a bigger flock than I do, and he does do spiral breeding for the diversity and longevity to a flock that can provide. And I do things a little bit differently. And it's neat to see the comparison and the contrasting traits and growth habits and how they chicken, but his are actually pretty comparable. So we'll get there, one step at a time.